Right now on the National Weather Desk, violent weather sweeps across portions of the U.S. Tornadoes strike Arkansas. Powerful winds topple trees, overturn rail cars, and snap power poles, while heavy rain floods streets, and there could be another round later today.
There was a lot of shaking. I almost fell over. I was very scared.
Some California strawberry crops could be in danger thanks to hot and wet weather.
It makes the strawberry get rotten faster.
What's behind an uptick in tick bites this year? And we have the buzz on why you could still stumble upon a massive cluster of bees just hanging around this time of year.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm Angela Brown. It was a busy night across the nation's midsection on Monday after severe weather brought tornadoes, wind damage, and flooding to a number of states. And there's a real threat of more severe storms later on today. Let's start in Arkansas, where a reported tornado touched down in the northeast part of that state. Local authorities say there is widespread damage to homes, some cars, some power lines, also some trees. No injuries or deaths have been reported, but crews are still working to clear that debris. Large hail fell across Rockwall, Texas. That's around 20 miles northeast of Dallas. Some places saw hailstones that were the size of tennis balls. St. Louis and much of Missouri were under a 4 out of 5 risk for severe thunderstorms yesterday. Those storms produced heavy rain, lots of lightning, and some very threatening clouds you can see there, but no reports of any tornadoes. There was, however, a possible tornado about 40 miles to the east in Germantown, Illinois. Local officials say some homes were damaged by falling trees. And in Kansas, people were still cleaning up on Monday following damaging winds late Sunday night. Power lines snapped in two, trees fell down, and even a train was blown off the tracks and onto its side. Near Kansas City, heavy rain flooded local creeks and rivers, sending water pouring onto area roads. Many cars were stranded in that high water. Some places saw up to 5 inches of rain. And there could be more severe weather later today in northern Texas and the lower Mississippi Valley. The Storm Prediction Center issued a level 3 out of 5 risk for the area that you're looking at right here in orange. That includes Dallas, Memphis, and also Little Rock. There's a slightly lower risk in Nashville, Birmingham, and also Chattanooga, and all 25 million people are at risk of very large hail, damaging winds, and also a few tornadoes. Well, severe weather also hit the Great Lakes on Monday, causing damage and flooding some communities as well. Parts of Superior, Wisconsin flooded as knee-high water filled the streets. The town sits on the far western edge of Lake Superior along the Minnesota border. Nearly 2 inches of rain fell yesterday. Nearly 5 inches has fallen in the last 5 days. Now, winds were the problem right here. In southeast Wisconsin, trees and power lines were knocked down across the Milwaukee region Monday afternoon. Nearly 50,000 homes apparently and businesses lost power. Cars and homes were also hit by those falling trees. It was a similar story across Lake Michigan, where the wind caused damage across the Kalamazoo region. Ava Ray has that part of the story.
Monday evening, a storm left a path of damage across Kalamazoo. At Locust and Hoffman, fire crews rushed to a home after a large tree crashed through the roof with people still inside.
The initial call came in of a large tree on top of the house with a person trapped and unknown injuries. So we had a large response over here.
Firefighters pulled 2 people out of the home along with their dog. One man was taken to the hospital alert and talking, while a woman was taken for observation. KDPS Fire Marshal Scott Brooks says the home could be a total loss.
From the looks of it, it's going to be condemned.
Just a block away, Romango Jackson says he was playing video games when another tree came crashing into his home.
There was a lot of shaking. I almost fell over. I was very scared.
He says when he looked out of his window, the tree was right in front of him.
It was about 6 minutes, I think. Not even that many.
And just a ways away on Lay Boulevard, another family now trying to figure out what comes next after a tree tore through their home.
It's our entire life in there. I don't need everything right now.
Bailey says his 2-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, 2 dogs, and 1 cat were found safe.
The neighbors all came out. They were immediately at our front door. They went underneath that giant branch to come check on us. They're actually watching our daughter for us while we get everything together. It's nice living in a neighborhood where everyone can work together and help each other.
While the damage stretches across multiple blocks, many families say they're just thankful everyone made it out alive. City crews will continue to clear down trees and power lines. Officials are urging people to stay away from down lines.
Well, rain is typically a good thing for crops, but the timing of it is a really big factor here. Michaela Richardson is in California, where recent precipitation has farmers concerned.
There's just so much agriculture in the area, and we're able to grow so many things here. It feels like it's crazy to be buying stuff from far away when we have it all right here.
But Taylor Filler tells me the last batch of locally grown strawberries she bought went bad in less than a week.
We literally just had that this week where I bought some on Wednesday and they were already bad by
a few days later. Yeah.
Like Saturday. Yeah, so that was definitely different than prior ones we've had.
Edward Lucas explains it's not the grower who's at fault, but the gloomy, rainy weather that's been sticking around the Central Coast.
It makes the strawberry get rotten faster than it's normally used to be, where it it don't last as long, especially if you don't keep them in the fridge, and he tried to sell as fresh as possible.
Lucas has known Fabian Garcia for 30 years. Garcia owns Garcia's Fruit and Vegetables, and Lucas offered to translate for my interview with Garcia. Garcia says when the weather is too hot, like the recent heat wave, or too wet, like the last few days, strawberries can be easily impacted because they grow so close to the ground.
Water will make strawberry less sweet, while summer or hotter, it makes it ripen faster and sweeter. Either way, it's gonna go bad.
During heavy rain, a half-inch of water could be detrimental to the crop. Berries can split from excess moisture, mold can spread fast, and cause the fruit to rot faster, like Garcia said. Filler says despite the weather impacting the fruit, she's still choosing to shop locally.
Just all the options here and feeling like you're supporting local workers, supporting local farmers, and just getting to see all the different kind of stuff that can be grown here is pretty cool.
Well, it's that time of the year. Time to talk ticks. This yearly conversation comes with alarm this year because there's been an unusually high number of ER visits for tick bites throughout the U.S., especially in the Northeast. Now, Devin Bates reports from Rhode Island.
South County has long been a hotbed for ticks in Rhode Island, and with the CDC reporting the weekly rate of ER visits for tick bites are the highest for this time of year since 2017, it's never too early to be cautious.
I certainly make sure that I wear the right clothing, wear pants, and always check when I get back to the house to make sure that, I don't have anything on me.
In nearby Connecticut, researchers at the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Station have also been getting an unusually high number of tick samples submitted, and more than 40% of them have tested positive for the causative agent of Lyme disease. In North Kingstown at the John H. Chafee Nature Preserve, frequent walkers have also been noticing an uptick.
So I just got Monty here this spring, and I've actually seen at least one tick on every hike we've done.
Ticks like to hide on ankle-level vegetation, so if you're hiking, you should try to walk in the middle of the trail and wear long-sleeve shirts and long pants. Of course, you should also be checking yourself afterwards, making sure you don't squeeze the tick. As anyone who's had Lyme disease will tell you, it's not an easy road to recovery.
I've had Lyme disease. Caught it after about a month. I had Bell's palsy, headaches. Wow. So yeah, but we've had plenty of ticks on us before, yeah.
And speaking of bugs, have you ever come across a massive cluster of bees that's just hanging around? Meteorologist Dave Dirks explains why you might come across this sight.
This is bee swarming season, and here's a good-sized one. Swarming occurs as bee colonies grow in size, most notably in the spring across the southern Appalachians. The season coincides with what is called the spring nectar flow, when flowering plants produce an abundance of nectar. The resulting bee population growth causes the hive to become overcrowded. Now, what happens is the old queen leaves the hive with about half the worker bees to find a new home, often landing on a tree branch or a structure for a few hours to a couple of days as scout bees look for a permanent home. Swarming bees are generally not aggressive since they do not have a hive or honey to protect.
And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll look at the dangers of spying hiking, and we'll take a tour of the D.C. Botanical Garden. Is that spying?
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. We're starting with a lot of sunshine in the Northeast for most areas today. The exception back into New York and northern New Jersey. There we'll have some more clouds and the chance for showers. This little feature will fall apart as we go into tonight and into Wednesday. Another round of rain is quickly approaching from the west. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday. It's getting into western parts of New York with a solid soaking. There's a chance for thunderstorms there as well. New England will get a solid rain on Thursday.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region, tracking a few showers around for your Tuesday, mainly in the afternoon, but not everyone's going to see the rainfall, and it's not going to last all day long. That is not going to be the case for Wednesday. We will see widespread rain here, scattered to widespread at the very least. 2 rounds of possible rainfall with this next system on Wednesday, and we'll even see some thunderstorms possible in a few areas, with temperatures remaining on the cooler side, but still 60s. We'll say that's mild, and that will be the case again on Wednesday.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski with a look at your forecast across the southeast. It's going to be warm across the region for Tuesday afternoon, with highs mostly in the upper 70s and 80s, although closer to 70 across parts of North Carolina there. Everyone dealing with a good bit of sunshine to start before a front boundary then begins to develop. Through Tuesday afternoon, we'll start to see the chance of a few thunderstorms as a front boundary moves in, bringing rain to Arkansas and Tennessee, drier across the East Coast, and then rainfall continues overnight and into Wednesday morning.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
It looks like a spaceship was hovering over Mount Shasta Monday, but that's for science fiction. It's actually a lenticular cloud. These form when stable air flows over a mountain and enough moisture is present above the mountain. While these clouds look serene and peaceful, the winds in and around them are known to be turbulent.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Twitter.
During the 19th and 20th centuries, technological and architectural marvels often debuted at the World's Fair. A concept of yesteryear, these global gatherings were truly momentous occasions. Before you could look it up on the internet or learn about it on television, a World's Fair was the place to go for a look at the latest innovations from around the world. The first ever World's Fair in America was held in Philadelphia in 1876 to mark the 100th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The 6-month-long expo attracted almost 10 million visitors and showcased numerous breakthrough inventions like the telephone, typewriter, and sewing machine. Novelties like root beer, popcorn, and bananas were introduced to American consumers. Since America's first in Philadelphia, our nation has hosted more than 24 World's Fairs. The second one in Chicago in 1893 was far more elaborate than Philadelphia and more than double the size. Architects manufactured a temporary city of neoclassical buildings at the heart of the fair, nicknamed the White City due to the all-white facade. The White City became the inspiration for city planning around the world and the template for banks and public buildings across the country. Coined the fair that changed America, the Chicago World's Fair introduced the public to electric lighting, the zipper, and the automatic dishwasher. It shaped American culture with the debut of the Ferris wheel, the first commercial movie theater, and foods like Aunt Jemima pancake mix, Cracker Jack, hamburgers, and peanut butter, and carbonated beverages. Other pivotal World's Fairs include New York in 1939 at the tail end of the Great Depression, where color film, nylon stockings, television, and air conditioning dazzled attendees. And the Seattle World's Fair in 1962, which gave us the iconic Space Needle. Although World's Fairs are a thing of the past in America, state and regional fairs are still a beloved tradition. This summer, the biggest state fair in the country will transform the National Mall with all 50 states represented. For Amazing America, I'm Taylor Murray with the National News Desk.
And as we celebrate the United States' 250th birthday, here's something for your travel list. Washington, D.C.'s Botanical Garden. There's representation from every state and also every territory. Rebecca Turco has more.
So this is the Mediterranean house, which is why California's going in here.
California, Ohio, West Virginia. The official flowers from every state and territory are now being featured at the U.S. Botanic Garden for America's 250th.
America is so diverse. The people are diverse, the states are diverse, and the state flowers are diverse. And honestly, that just felt like such a good fit for us to show that wide expanse of what the floral symbology of the United States looks like.
And you see where that bench is?
Yeah.
That's where the committee is going to go.
We had a number of these state flowers already in our collections, sharing with our visitors from across the U.S. and around the globe. But we also had to bring some in.
I'll have the places one over there.
The finishing touches are made as these national gardeners place the final potted plants.
Yes, we'll do Ohio and California, and then we have Massachusetts.
I do particularly love that Minnesota has chosen the pink lady slipper orchid. We have more than 250 orchids native to the United States, and a lot of people don't know that.
Each of the displays include facts about the state flower, and a handful of states even chose the same one to represent them.
Honestly, at the end of the day, sometimes it was local groups from a state who really just loved a native flower and they want to celebrate that, but sometimes it was just something that was really popular of the era 100 or 200 years ago, and they're like, hey, we love this plant, we're just going to make it our state flower.
There are also finely crafted paper versions of these flowers for the months when they aren't in bloom. This is the American Beauty Rose, the official flower of D.C.
This is a very natural fit for us as a way to celebrate America.
Beautiful as all of this is, you really have to smell it to get the full effect. And you've got time. The America's State Flowers celebration runs through mid-October.
Well, spring is a transition season, but this year in New England, the temperatures have gone back and forth between summer numbers and winter. These temperature swings are affecting the leaves. Meteorologist A.J. Mastrangelo explains.
In the springtime, of course, the leaves popping out of their buds, well, that's also predicated on the weather. So the average leaf out date across the eastern coast of the United States, it does vary, of course, down towards Atlanta, Charlotte, North Carolina. It comes early before that March 15th date, but it's a little bit later than that here in the Northeast and specifically in the state of Rhode Island. You can see Providence, you're even a little bit later than what we see down in New Bedford, Westerly typically, and that date in the Providence area typically right around April the 10th. That's mathematically calculated to occur on average around April the 10th. So leaf out, it's the annual spring process where deciduous trees and shrubs, they break their dormancy as buds open and reveal new leaves. But we've seen quite a bit in the way of some temperature swings so far this spring season. So that's mean this year's progression, well, it's been very staggered. Last week's record warmth across much of the region did yield to some weird conditions kind of going on pertaining to when those first leaves come out. As you can see down here, coastal Carolinas, you were roughly late, and actually much of our region here was a little bit late, especially south of Providence towards the immediate coastline. Some areas one or two weeks late, while we did see those above average temperatures in parts of central and northern New England actually put out leaves about 1-2 weeks before you typically see it up to the north. So some interesting stuff going on this spring season. Everyone getting their leaf out pretty much at the same time.
Oh, the excitement of warmer temperatures and hiking, but conditions along mountain trails can vary a lot along the way. Meteorologist Hannah Sheehy explains some of the dangers of spring hiking and how to prepare for changing conditions.
This time of year, trailheads can look very different from the summits. Mountains hold on to snow longer, adding challenges to early season hikes. Mount Washington is known for rapidly changing weather. A recent summit webcam still shows fresh snow, highlighting how different conditions can be from sea level. In fact, the summit typically sees their last snowfall around May 30th, but it has snowed as late as June 30th. Icy trail conditions are one of the most significant hazards to early season hikers. Without proper equipment, this can increase the risk of falls. Snowmelt this time of year also contributes to fast-moving streams and rivers where water levels can rise quickly, even even on otherwise mild days. Conditions at the trailhead can be very different from those at the summit, a contrast that continues to be a key factor in hiking incidents year-round. Preparedness is key for any early season hike. Make sure you are carrying the 10 essentials, which include food, water, layers, navigation, lights, and so on. In late spring, crampons and an ice axe are just as important. Always check the weather and leave an itinerary with someone you know and trust. Even as spring takes hold, weather conditions linger in the mountains. Do your research, pack smart, and be ready for rapid changes.
And time now for a short break, but first we take to the skies over Montana.
Well, a very good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. The severe weather that we had yesterday, that whole system is moving its way out to the East Coast for the day today and moving out of here. And as we continue into your Wednesday, another round of some low pressure slides into the Ohio Valley with more morning rain tomorrow. Kind of cool, though. A lot of 60s for high temperatures for Wednesday. By the time that we get to Thursday, temperatures try to warm up for a lot of us, but only around 40s there in Wisconsin.
Well, good Tuesday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Chris Suchan. Look at our forecast today across the region, and starting off with the patchy clouds. Later in the day, isolated storm chance across Texas. Then it's more scattered rain and thunderstorms. Portions of Arkansas where it's in the 70s for highs. We step into Wednesday's forecast. We'll have a weak front dropping to the south. With it, some showers and thunderstorms along that front. And notice it'll be a little bit cooler as well to the north of it. Highs are in the 60s.
Well, hi there, everybody. I hope you're having a terrific Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, we're around in the corner toward the end of April, and things are going according to plan. We've got the gray skies right along the immediate California coastline. It will nearly be time for May gray, whereas it's still kind of chilly over the Continental Divide. We've got some mountain snow that's still pushing in through parts of Montana and Wyoming. Wildfire danger is sky high in the desert Southwest. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, are you passionate about the weather? Would you like to help meteorologists measure rain, hail, snow? Meteorologist Joy Bettenhausen tells you how.
Have you ever been given a rain gauge and just don't know what to do with it? Or have you wanted to be involved in community weather reporting and didn't know where to start? I've got a solution for you. So have you ever heard of COCO-ROSS? Now, you know meteorologists love a good acronym. It's up here, Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. It's a place where you can take daily or hourly rain, snow, or hail measurements and submit them for meteorologists, hydrologists, researchers, etc. to use. So type COCO-ROSS in your favorite web browser, and here's what the homepage looks like. These are our rainfall totals through about 8 a.m. I'm telling you, may wonder, why does my random rainfall measurement in my backyard matter? Well, it could help for severe thunderstorm forecasting, it could help me put my rainfall totals graphic together, and it could help for river and lake forecasting as well. So if you're interested, super simple, fill out the form, make sure you have an approved rain gauge, and I hope to see your rainfall total soon.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.